In my opinion, sushi is one of the most intimidating foods to cook for a home cook. So many questions come to mind. What type of fish to use? Will I finally kill my family with this meal? How to cook the rice? How to shape this Japanese burrito thing?
I'm gonna clear the fog and answer all these questions from a home cook's perspective. That's me. I'm not a sushi chef. The only thing that I want is some affordable and safe to eat sushi at home.
Sushi has two important components, the rice and the fish. Eating raw fish, as it's the case with sushi, comes with some health risks.
Apparently, you can't use any raw fish from that shady supermarket. And why is that?
Well, because it contains parasites and bacteria, like you can see in this fish here. See, this is a parasite. Ew, that's gross. I know, that's why the food industry invented something called sushi grade fish, a term used for fish that's safe to eat raw. Fish frozen in super freezers for a specific period of time at -31 Fahrenheit. That procedure will kill any parasites living inside the fish, making it safe to eat raw.
But this is not a super freezer and I don't have access to sushi grade fish. What do I do?
Well, farmed salmon and wild tuna are safe to eat raw without the special handling.
By safe to eat raw, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration here in the United States, says the number of people getting sick due to contamination with parasites found in farmed salmon and tuna is very, very low, statistically insignificant. There's still a very small risk and you'll have to get comfortable with that. I did.
Now, I usually get my farmed salmon from my bathtub.
Found it!
But if your bathtub doesn't have any salmon in it, you can buy good quality fresh farmed salmon from Costco or any store that looks legit, trustworthy, has high volume of fish and movement of product. Once you buy the fish, take care of it properly. Keep it cold, clean everything that comes in contact with the fish. Don't let it sit in your fridge for 3 days and then make sushi with it.
Use your nose also. If at any point it smells fishy, it's game over. Fresh fish doesn't smell like anything. You know, common sense stuff. Now that we covered the fish territory, let's talk about the necessary evil, the rice. You see, the rice will make or break your sushi experience. Why?
Because the rice has to stay together when I pick up the sushi like this. See, stays together. In sushi, I want the rice grains to cling to each other, just like me to my ex-boyfriend. There are a multitude of rice varieties with different sizes, long, medium, short grain sizes, some with more starches in them, others with less. So, which ones to choose? A short or medium grain size with a good starch content works great in sushi. Now, to prepare the rice, I have to rinse it a few times in cold water. Rinsing will eliminate the extra starch from my rice. See, this is starchy water. A bit of starch is good, but not a lot. Water over rice, swirl it around, throw away the starchy water. Repeat that process 3 to 4 times until the water is almost clear. Then I'll dump the rice into a pot and cook it according to the package instructions. I'm gonna show you what works for me. I add twice the water over my rice, so to 1 cup of rice I use 2 cups of water. Bring the water to a gentle boil, then turn the flame down to the lowest setting. Cover with the lid and let it cook for 15 to 20 minutes. There's no more water left at the bottom of the pot. The rice absorbed all the water. As a general cooking idea, if your rice is crunchy, add more water. If it's mushy, congrats. Add milk, sugar, cinnamon, put your fish on top, and damn, that's some good rice pudding sushi. Now, the sushi rice is also flavored. Sushi actually means sour tasting in Japanese. To make the rice sour, this vinegary liquid is used. Some salt, sugar, and rice vinegar go into a bowl. Mix everything for the salt and sugar to dissolve and that's the vinegary liquid. This is usually added over the cooked rice in a slow dripping artistic motion, as you can see in one of Joshua Weissman's video. But I can't be bothered with that. I add the vinegar liquid to the pot over the water. The rice will absorb that during cooking. This method has its disadvantages, but it's a lot easier for a home cook, I guess. Once the rice is cooked, I can't just leave it in there. It will clump into one giant rice cylinder. I will dump it on a baking sheet. Using a wooden spoon, I'll try my best to spread the rice into a thin layer. This step cools the rice faster. Cover with a damp towel and let it cool to room temperature. And now, ladies and gents, let's make some goddamn sushi. What about these Japanese burrito slices? For those, I'll use these dried seaweed sheets called Nori. You can buy these from any grocery store. Just look at the international aisle. These sheets have two sides, a shiny one and a rough-looking one. Just like me before and after making sushi. I want to place that nori sheet with the rough side facing upwards. The shorter side of the sheet should be towards me. First, I'll add some rice onto my nori sheet. How much rice should you add? Oh, I don't know. I like less on mine, maybe 9 tablespoons or so, but you can add more on yours. A little bit of sushi battlefield planning. The rice will be placed a third of the way from the start of my nori sheet. That's 2/3 away from my end. I also want to leave uncovered the end of the nori, maybe 2/3 of an inch or so. That side won't get any rice on it. Next, I'll spread the rice using my spoon dipped in a little bit of water. Starting from the middle of the pile, I'll spread the rice around. To keep the sheet from moving, I'll also place my fingers on the end of the nori. Yes, that end that will not get covered with rice. Anyways, once you're happy with the rice situation, I'll turn the sheet 180 degrees just like this. Then use any fillings you like. I'll put those 2 or 3 inches away from where the seaweed ends. I'll add a long piece of salmon, one of zucchini, a few slices of sweet red pepper, and some avocado slices also. You can slice them bigger or smaller depending on what you enjoy in your sushi.
Are any of these traditional? I mean, no, but avocado in sushi. Are you kidding me? Again, as I said,
America! Americanized sushi is fine. In fact, it's fucking delicious. To shape that Japanese burrito, I'll take the shorter end of the seaweed sheet and drag that over everything just like this. Some pepper slices will escape, maybe some other pieces also, but that's fine. Then use both hands and press on that burrito. The fingers should form a semicircle like a letter C. You should be pressing with the fingers enough so that everything sticks to each other and stays together, just like my parents in a loveless marriage. Then roll again. Same technique as before. At the end, I'll dab that seaweed with some water. Roll, then press one final time on that burrito. This is the trick to seal the Japanese deal, if I can say that. Now, the only thing left is to slice it. I'll use a wet knife that will make cutting a lot easier. I'll cut the log into 8 cylinders, cleaning the knife every other cut to the best of my ability. Japanese God knows I tried. And that's it. I like to dunk my sushi in soy sauce like it's Dunkin' Donuts time. Oh, no. Unfortunately, I dropped this one, but still goes in the pie hole. Now, if you don't have access to seaweed sheets, you can make nigiri, which is straight up rice and fish, I guess. Shaping the rice is the most annoying part. After watching countless videos, I gave up and came up with my own method. Yay! Okay, so this is what I do. First, to prevent the rice from sticking to my hands, I dip my fingers in a little bit of water and then spread that water around. Then I take some rice from the tray, maybe 20 grams or 1.5 tablespoons worth of rice. I swirl that rice around in my hand until I get a rice ball like this one. Just enough pressure is applied on the rice so the grains stay together. Roll and press, roll and press. Then I have to shape the ball into a log. Now, to do that, I put the rice in my left hand right in the middle of my palm like this, you see? I'll use the big and index fingers from my right hand. Place those two at the two ends of my left hand. Index finger in the front and the big finger in the back. I'll squeeze the rice ball with my left hand while those two fingers from my right hand will stop the rice from being squeezed outside. Turn the rice log using your hands and repeat. Do that a couple more times and at the end I have a rice log like this one. Next, I need some fish to cover the logs with. I have a salmon fillet over here that's as wide as my hand. I'll use my very basic non-Japanese knife to cut a slice. As long as you're not using the bread knife, you're Gucci. Don't let anyone Japanese knife shame you. So I'll slice along the fish grain. See, these are the fish fibers and I'll cut parallel to them. The salmon will be easier to chew. I'm also cutting at an angle here. Tilt the knife a little, then slice a piece that should be big enough to cover the rice log. As I'll get towards the center of the fish fillet, the knife will not be as tilted. God, I suck at this, but who cares? It's eatable. You're gonna fuck up a few slices, as I do here, but that's fine. Just relax and enjoy the process. Now I'll get my rice log and cover it with the fish fillet. Then, using the big and index fingers from the other hand, I'll press on the sides and just a little bit on top. That will glue the fish to my rice. Again, a bit of pressure on the sides and on top. And that's some ugly AF sushi, eatable, that probably won't kill anyone.
Don't quote me on that though. Now go make some sushi that even your cat won't eat.
Salmon is ready. I have sous vide it in the bathtub. What more do you want, Guga? There you go. I challenge you to sous vide your salmon in the bathtub.
Guys, if you got to the end of the video, it means you enjoyed it. So make me happy. Subscribe to the channel, smash that notification bell icon thing. This will help me grow on this platform. So one day maybe I can do YouTube full time and get rid of my software engineering job. Yay! One day, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer.